Hi again, Mark here from TalkingBass.net. I recently looked at how you can play scales and arpeggios over 2 octaves, and this week I'm going to be looking a little deeper into some of the different ways that you can play these patterns over 1 octave, and that'll hopefully open your eyes up to some new methods for getting around the neck. As always, all the lesson materials available over at TalkingBass.net. Just follow the link in the information below. There's always a big download button just below the video over there, so just click on that and it'll all come down to you. Also, check out all the videos on the lesson map. They're all organised into specific topics and they're arranged in a progressive manner so that you have an actual plan of attack in working through them. You can also sign up to TalkingBass.net for free to receive updates to your inbox each week, because there's lessons released each week. And you'll also receive the wonderful scale reference manual. Again, that's a free download, so don't worry about getting, asked for credit card details or PayPal details, every few seconds. So just check that out. So let's have a look at a good old C major scale, okay? And we'll play it from the 3rd fret here of the A string, starting with the 2nd finger. So it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? That's the pattern that most people learn when they first learn a major scale. So we have 2nd finger, 4th finger, then we have that 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger pattern, then 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger pattern. And you can see it as a whole step pattern there on the A string, a half step, whole step pattern there on the D string, and a whole step, half step pattern there on the G string. So we've got these 3 layers to it based on the strings. There's the A string, the D string, and the G string. So that's the basic pattern. Now, as you can see, that's based on 3 strings. Okay, so that would be a major scale across 3 strings. But we can also play it across 2 strings or even 1 string. We don't have to be limited by that 3-string pattern. So let's have a look at how to create a 2-string major scale pattern. And this is really easy to do because all we do is we take the top layer there, the top string, A, B, C there, that whole step, half step pattern, and we bring it down onto the string below. So we have C, D, E, F, G, then we move up a whole step and move to the A there, A, B, C. Okay, so hey presto, we've got a 2-string C major scale there. And that's all based on that original 3-string pattern. We haven't really changed anything. We've not started any different fingers or anything like that. We've still got the same whole step pattern there, half step, whole step pattern there. We've just taken that one on the top string and moved it down onto the D string. Simple. So you want to practice that major scale pattern up and down until you've really nailed it and got it under your fingers. And you'll probably need to practice that position shift quite a bit. Going from the 4th finger to the 1st finger there. You want that to be nice and smooth. Okay, then once you've nailed it, you want to move around to different root notes. So let's try an A flat major scale. So A flat here, 4th fret of the E string. We play up from there. Okay, so we've got A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat there. Okay, or a G major. G there on the E string, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, and just move it around the neck. So this pattern can be really useful in several ways. First of all, we get to move up and down the neck as opposed to across the neck, so we get to move around a lot more. Also, as a byproduct of this movement, we can play scales starting from a root note on the D string. With the other major scale pattern that was over 3 strings, we were always limited to playing starting from the E or the A string, a root note on either of those strings. So now I can play something like an F major scale starting here on the 3rd fret of the D string. Okay, so before I'd have had to have started from here or from here, but now I'm not stuck. I can be in this position, playing around in this area, and I don't have to worry. I can start from the F there, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Okay? So we can also apply this principle to the other scale patterns starting on the other fingers. So first of all, let's just have a look at those patterns. So if we start from the C here at the 8th fret of the E string, we'd normally play with the 2nd finger there. But As I've mentioned in many of the other lessons, something I now call the tri-shape system, we can also start with the first finger. So first finger there for the C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so that's the first finger pattern. And we've also got a fourth finger pattern. Starting on the fourth finger there, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then that's actually a 4-string pattern because we hit the octave there on the G string. So if you need any help with any of these patterns, just go back over all the lessons on the lesson map or on YouTube, and you'll find lots of lessons covering this. You'll see them as the tri-shape system. Okay, so we can now apply this 2-string principle to these different scale patterns. So let's say that we're going to use the first finger C major scale here. We've got C, D, E, F, G, A. Now we have this B, C there at the top, that little half step pattern. So as we come up, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then we take that the B and the C, the little half step, and we play it up there on the A string. Okay, so that's the first finger C major scale played over 2 strings. Now let's try the fourth finger C major scale. So again, we've got the fourth finger there, C, D, E, F, and that's as far as we can go on the A string. So now we take the D string pattern there, the G, A, B, G, A, B, and we put that there on the A string. Now, of course, we have a little problem here because it's as I mentioned before, it's a 4-string pattern. So the C's taken there with the first finger. So as we come up, C, D, E, F, we then move, and then we have to do another position shift to get up to the C, which we can take with either the first finger or the second finger. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then back. So that's got 2 position shifts in it, so it's not too easy a pattern. I take a little bit of working on, but again, we can still do it. We've got a 2-string pattern there of the 4th finger pattern. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? So now we've applied that principle to the major scale, let's try applying it to some other scales. So first let's try a basic natural minor scale. So we'll try it here at an A, so an A natural minor scale, starting on the first finger, okay? So in 1 octave we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So we've got this whole step, half step pattern there, move up a string, whole step, half step pattern again, and then we've got a whole step pattern at the top. So to get a 2-string pattern, we just work up A, B, C, D, E, F, and then we take that half step pattern up there, the G and the A, and we move it down onto the A string there. So it's an A natural minor played over 2 strings. So now let's try an F Dorian scale starting on the A string with the second finger. So over 1 octave. Okay, so we have F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. Okay, so as we work up, we have the F and the G there. Then we've got up to the A flat, the B flat, the C. Then we just move the D, the E flat, and the F down here. Oops. Okay, so you practice that over and over. So you've got those position shifts working, okay? Now let's try one more. We'll try an A flat Lydian scale, starting with the second finger. So find the A flat, now play the Lydian scale over 1 octave. Okay, so we've got A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat. And now we'll try it on 2 strings. So we've got the A flat, the B flat, the C, D flat, E flat there. So, and then we just take the F, the G flat, and the A flat, and we bring it down onto the A string. Okay, so that's an A flat Lydian. So now if you want to expand on that a little bit, let's try taking that A flat Lydian and playing it on the D string. So if we find an A flat there, 6th fret of the D string, we can take that same pattern, and we've got that pattern there. And you'll notice that this really ties in with the 2-octave lessons that I did recently, because when you get up to the top of the A-flat mixer Lydian, if you actually want to create a 2-octave pattern, starting on the second finger again, you know, we mimic what we had down lower, you know, in the lower area. We've actually got that pattern there, the 2-string pattern. Okay? These patterns are great for moving around because we can move through several octaves quite easily. So if I play a G major scale, starting here on the 3rd fret of the E string, over 2 strings, I can move up into that higher octave there, and then we can just repeat that pattern. And then we do it again, starting on the 2nd finger there. Okay, so okay, so that's a 3-octave G major scale just using that single pattern. So we've actually moved through 4 different Gs there. We've got the G, 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 and the top G. If you've got 24 frets, obviously. If you've got less frets, then you can just go up as far as you can and then come back down. These position shifts can also be seen as waypoints as we move up the neck. So if we stick with that G major scale that we started here on the 3rd fret of the E string, and we move up to that first position shift there, I've got the E, F sharp and G. That's the top line, the top string of that the 3-string version. So we can come down as if I was coming down there. Okay, so I've moved up, I'm into this next position. Okay, so it's a good way of moving through different areas of the neck. Again, if I carried on moving up, I'm up into this, the 2nd octave of the G major there. And if I did it again, I'm now up into this top area. Okay. We can also extend this same principle of dividing up the original 3-string pattern of a scale and create a scale pattern over 1 string. Okay, so this is again very easy to do. So let's take this C major scale again, starting on the 3rd fret of the A string. So again, we have the 3-string version. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the 2-string version, but we're going to take all of those layers, the E, F, G there, and the A, B, C, we're going to bring them down onto the A string. So if we start off, we've got C, D, that's that whole step pattern. Now if you look at the E, F, G there, bring that down onto the A string. So we're using the same fingering. So now we have C, D, E, F, G, and now we take that top line we had there, A, B, C, and bring that down onto the A string as well. So we have C, D, then E, F, G, then A, B, C. Okay, so that's a 1-octave C major scale on 1 string. And it's a little bit easier using that fingering than it would be if, let's say, you were using just 1 finger. You know. Okay. So we can use this pattern in exactly the same way that we used the 2-string patterns, in that we can use them as waypoints as we move up, and to create 2-octave or even 3-octave scale patterns. So if I'm moving up, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, I'm up to the higher octave here. Okay, so that's one way of getting up there. Or I could move up, C, D, there's the first position shift, and then just carry on the pattern there. Okay, so again, it's another good way of moving up and down the neck as opposed to moving across. We can also apply this 1-string concept to the other scale patterns, starting with the 1st finger and the 4th finger. So I won't dwell on this too long because we've already covered it with the 2-string concept, but I'll just give an example. So let's say that we take the 1st finger C major scale. So we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C there. Take the D string pattern there of F, G, A, and we move it down onto the A string. So we've got C, D, E, then F, G, A, and then we take the B and the C, the little half step there up at the top, and we bring that down onto the A string as well. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and that's using the same fingering as we would have working across the neck. And again, perfect for moving up the neck. I'm now up in the higher octave. So we can also apply that principle to the fourth finger C major. So in this lower position down here, we have to use the open strings. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we can kind of get up to the C there because we've got the open string. But starting on the fourth finger, we then take the D, E, F pattern, whole step, half step, and we move it down onto the A string, D, E, F there, and then we've got the G, A, B, G, A, B. So we start on the fourth finger, then it's first finger for the D, E, F, first finger for the G, A, B, and then we're up here in position for this higher octave, starting on the first finger. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? So this now means that we can play any scale starting from any root note on any string, including the G string. So the G string would normally be, unfamiliar territory for a lot of bass players if you were used to playing a scale in the standard 3-string manner. So now, as an example, if we tried playing an A flat major scale, starting on the first fret there of the G string, we can now use our first finger major scale pattern to just come up the G string. So we've got A flat, B flat, C, then we make the shift, D flat, E flat, F, and then we're up to G and the A flat. Okay, so if we were only used to that A flat major there, this one would have been a real problem. So obviously there we've just stuck to the major scale, so let's just try a couple of different ones just for a change. So if we try from, let's say, a G, and we'll try a Dorian scale starting on the first finger, so normally 1 octave. We'd have G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G. Now if we want to play on one string, we've got the G, A, B flat, then we take the C, D, E there, bring that down here, and then we've got the F, G at the top. Okay, so that's G Dorian on one string. Now let's try a D Lydian scale. So over 3 strings, starting on the D there, 5th fret of the A string, we'd normally have D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D. And to make a 1-string pattern, we just take each of those lines and bring them down. So we've got D, E, then we take the F sharp, G sharp, A, and we put that on the A string, and then we take the B, C sharp, D, and bring that down as well. So, okay, so that's a D Lydian scale on 1 string. So there are obviously many different ways that you can use these scales, and there are just too many scales to go over one by one. So just try to practice moving them around the neck from different root notes, working them out, and try as many scales as you can, different qualities of scale. So also try working out different problems, try getting out of certain problems. So if you're up here at, let's say, C major, upper octave, 15th fret there of the A string, 2nd finger pattern. If I want to come down and use the 2-string pattern to bring myself back down to this C here, I would need a 1st finger pattern in the lower octave, even though I'm in the 2nd finger pattern here, simply because if you were to work up C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, the 1st finger C major pattern there, we finish the octave there on the 2nd finger. So 2nd finger there, I can come down the 1st finger pattern there. Okay, and there's lots of these little problems that you might find as you're coming down, in terms of weaving between positions. Okay, so I hope that helps with moving out of those little rigid 1-octave pattern areas. So subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos and updates. Also like this video if it's helped you, and leave a comment. As I said before, there's loads more goodies over at TalkingBass.net, so go check that out. I also give lessons over Skype, so if you're interested in some private one-on-one tuition, just check out the Skype tab over at TalkingBass.net and drop me an email. Also, if you're interested in scales, check out my study book of scales ebook that's available at the Talking Bass store, and that's full of information on scales in general. There's a giant encyclopedia of scales, and there's also another part devoted to practice tips and methods. So go check that out. Okay, see you later.